What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Justin Davis. Today I have another review for you, but before I jump right into flying this quad, I just wanted to kind of give you a synopsis of what's been going on with ultralight 5-inch long range quads. There are a variety of them out there now. GepRc came out with the first one that I tested maybe 3 months ago now. I flew it on a Lion. I flew it on a LiPo. They freestyle great on a LiPo if you want to. People complain that they're not that durable, but they're not really a bomber tough type of freestyle quad. They're not made up like that. These are made up as ultralight cruisers if you wanted to get under 250 grams with a 5-inch power system. So that's kind of cool. That's amazing. But I was amazed with the GepRc Recon 5. Love that quad. Threw it in my private collection and still there. I also liked the Diatone Roma 5-inch version of their offering of an ultralight 5-inch. And they both get around 28 minutes flight time. Now, GepRc has done something different with theirs. They stuck a full-size air module on there, which means that you don't have to fly an action cam on there if you don't want to. You can just record 1080p on the onboard DVR. However, that's adding a little more weight. When I first looked at it, I thought, well, why would they do that? They would do that for the people that want to fly and cruise and record, but aren't too worried about 4K. If you're worried about 4K, you can put a D-case GoPro in here, adding another 30 grams to the mix, and then just not record with the onboard DVR on the Dji module, the Air module. So you're gonna get great penetration with the dual antenna support on this version of it. They have another version of it, I believe, with Caddx, and they also, I believe, have an analog version. So this version has all the bells and whistles on here. I'm gonna fly it on my DJI controller, and we're gonna see what the flight time is on this one versus the other ones. I feel like it's gonna be a little less because I think that they went up a little bit with their KV on their motors. I think it's around 2550. I'll have to double check on that for you guys, but I'm gonna do the flight test right now anyways, and we're gonna see how this quad flies. And I tell you what, you know, if you get one of these type of quads, do yourself a favor, put on your Spotify, get out your favorite chair and a big drink, because you're gonna fly this for a while. Fly, jam out to some tunes, and just enjoy it. That's what these quads are all about. They are cruisers, and I'm loving this trend. So let's go ahead and get the GepRc version. Crocodile Baby 5. Here we go, guys. Let's go. All right, guys, I'm gonna ride along with you in this flight, and I'm gonna kind of walk you through this. Now, 4S850 on the first power loop, coming in super late and was able to not bottom out. That was kind of crazy. Right away, I felt like this quad was really smooth, but also extremely locked in with the F7 flight controller. Like here, the power to weight ratio is crazy. It feels more capable of freestyle than some of the heavier freestyle rigs that I've flown. You feel the weight of a freestyle. A true freestyle rig has quite a bit of weight with it. And if you're sporting a GoPro on top, it does have a lot of bottom end. When you come down out of a dive, you need a lot of high-end throttle at the bottom end of your loop. So that's one thing to think about for a larger freestyle rig. Now, people complain about durability with these, but guys, like, this is crazy. I mean, this tune on here is hands down the best tune of any of these long-range cruiser 5-inch that I've flown from any of these companies. And I can even put some other footage on the screen in the next part of this flight test, and I will compare it for you. We will show you the GepRc Recon 5, and I'll show you the Diatone 5, which is the L5 Roma. We'll show you all those in comparison, but look at this, like yaw snap knife edge to an S, wow, to a split S over that tree. Just very, very smooth and extremely predictable. I like freaking love the tune on this quad. Look at this, like down this road, knife edge, came close to that tree, but it just feels like transitions are really nice from like one move to the next with this quad. And feng shui is like there with this quad. I'm very, very, very happy with this quad. Fun and smooth to fly. All right, my friends, now we're going to test it out with the Lion. This is the 401 SP 3500 milliamp Lion from Zod. I'll put a link down below for this one. This one will get you about 20 minutes flight time with a really windy day. So I'm expecting that you should be able to push out to, say, 23 minutes. So this quad does get less flight time because of the higher kV motors. They gave you more of a freestyle capable quad with reinforced sidearms that come along with this one pre-installed. So it's going to be a little tougher than the other ones with the 3mm arms. So keep that in mind. GepRc Carbon is usually actually pretty good, but let's pay attention to how smooth this quad is first of all. And I want to show you the comparison, the GepRc Recon 5. This is my first experience up in the mountains with the Recon 5, and it really wasn't very windy. And you can see the kind of side to side vibes there, and you can see some props in view with this frame. So I really did like the Recon 5, but they had kind of a stretch in the arms in the front, and that just showed the props a little bit there for the main camera view. This is the Caddx Vista, and you can clearly see the vibes there. Now back to the GepRc Croc5 Baby. Look at this, way up high, probably a 15 to 20 mile an hour wind today. The trees are actually moving around a lot, and that's very smooth for up high. Now down low and close to the surface, it's just like my buddy. It's like my cruiser. And with this camera, I can really see what I'm doing. I prefer this over the Nebula Pro. It just has a truer color on it. You are adding a little more weight to the quad, but man, with that tune on here, it's so smooth. Now let's check out the Diatone L5. And in comparison, you can see this camera on this one is not good at all either. There are some weird light shift adjustments that happen when I go into the sun versus facing away from the sun. I was able to get 28 minutes flight time with this, but clearly again, you can see some vibes and you can see some side to side jitter with this quad. So the tune is not as good as the Gep. Again, like GepRc with the F7 is beating the competition. And I'm just showing you what the video looks like on board in comparison to the other quads. So I'm not just being a GepRc fanboy here. I'm actually showing you footage side by side here. So this is just my thoughts and feelings on my experiences with this quad, and you can interpret this how you want, but I always say proof's in the video. And my lines with this quad, very precise, very predictable. The throttle felt smooth, and I kind of thought those low pitch props would kind of be a problem on the high end of the throttle coming back around from power loops and things like that, but it really was a nice power to weight ratio, and that balances out that low pitch prop, still giving me enough power to get out of maneuvers. And I see a slight bit of jitter at times today flying this quad. On a perfectly windless day, you're probably going to have insanely smooth footage with this DVR. So if money's no object, I'd say go for the full-size Air Module, and you can still get updates on them with DJI, and I think they're going to be hard to find here in the near future, so I would scoop one of those up. If you want to go lighter weight, get a little more flight time, maybe 30 seconds or so, you can go for the Caddx Vista version. If you're already an analog guy, just grab the analog version and don't worry about the DJI. GepRc also has a new decased GoPro 8 coming out, which I'll try to put a link down there too as well. So that is cool. You can get it pre-decased. I just talked to someone the other day, they didn't want to do the whole soldering job on decasing a GoPro and take a chance of messing up their GoPro Hero 8, which I can understand. That's a $400 camera. So I get it. GepRc is going to offer those, and that's really cool. It's an actual GoPro. It's not a knockoff weird China cam. So look at the trees blowing, you guys. This is crazy. This quad is my buddy. This is my buddy Explorer Cruiser with the Lion pack. I'd take this out to the coast. With this kind of wind, I know I could fly on the coast in a pretty high wind and come back with some decent footage without having any type of decased GoPro or GoPro on here. yeah, proof's in the video, guys. Let's go back to the bench now and check out the Baby 5 on the bench. I'm happy. All right, guys, welcome back to the bench. So if you want to get this quad under 250 grams, you would probably have to buy the analog version or the Caddx Vista version. This one's weighing in right away without the battery at 255.5 grams. Before you even add your LiPo in there, which would be kind of the standard battery. This is a 4S850, getting us up to 352.3 grams right there. And my battery of choice for the long range flight is that Zod 4S1P 3500, and that gets you up to 469.5 grams on your takeoff weight. And then the GepRc version of a Lion is a 3000. This one's going to get you around 17 minutes flight time, 458.3 grams. So this one will get you closer to your 20-minute mark, maybe on a non-windy day, maybe up to 23 minutes, a few minutes less time than our 28-minute competitors out there. So these other quads do get 28 minutes. This is the Diatone Roma L5, and this just looks way less beastie than the Baby 5. We have a backseat Caddx back there, GPS. We have super tall post, which I think is very smart from Diatone. But the secret sauce about this one, as far as the flight time goes, is the motors. These are the Tonka 2004 1700 kVs, and these guys on HGLRC ALOS motors, they use 2004 1800 kVs. So these are a little higher. I got a little longer flight time with this one versus the Recon 5. And they also used a tall antenna on that one as well. We've got the same style 2-bolt configuration props on all of these. GepRc decided to make their own version of those props. And I believe these were Gemfan. Yeah, they are Gemfan 5-inch low profile props for these ultralight 5-inch rigs, specifically designed for them. The first time that I saw these was on the Beta FPV. It was one of the Racer X quads a while back, a very cool X-Night quad. I don't know if you guys remember that review, but that was fun. So top mount battery, long strap, accommodates either the 850 or the 3500 battery. So I don't think you can run this one on 6S. So I wouldn't try that, but let me check out the specs. I know that this is an F7 flight controller, and I've flown this one before. The first price for the analog one is $249. The Caddx Vista one is $369. And the full-blown air module version, like this one as it sits, is $429 on the site. But GepRc flight controller F722 AIO with 35 amp ESC. And it's interesting to me that they chose to use a higher kV motor. And I'll just show you those a little bit closer up here. See if I can get it to reflect right. They look really nice. They have this kind of blue anodized top on the motors, which I really like. They look really cool. They're kind of like skateboard wheels or something. So let me spin that around. You'll see 2004 and very, very tiny there, 2550. And you can see those crossbars coming in there, 4 bolts. These two are longer. So be careful if you're taking those on and off and you're not using that crossbar. Be sure to use shorter bolts or you'll kill your motors. And 35 amp ESCs. We have, I believe, 8 bolts on the top, and this might be a BN220 GPS. It is Betaflight ready to go. I had satellites, around 16 satellites on takeoff. It takes about a minute to load, so go ahead and let it load up. I am also seeing, as far as receiver goes, I was able to fly this with the DJI controller. So this is actually soldered correctly with that S-Bus setup there for the DJI controllers. I bound right up to this and I was off and flying this. So that's cool. If you already have the DJI controller, this thing comes ready and set up to go. You can also get an RXSR receiver for FrSky guys. If you have a Taranis radio or the T-Lite, it will work with the RXSR. Also, you can get the TBS Nano Crossfire version, which I have on my L5 here. It's kind of just haphazardly hanging off the back there. And then I also have the TBS Nano on this one as well. They did kind of a vertical mount there on the Recon 5. But if you're gonna ask me which one to buy right now, I would say that this one has the most versatility. It can freestyle like a maniac. These two have longer flight times, around 28 minutes. This one, you're gonna compromise around a 20-minute flight time with the 3500 pack. But I gotta tell you, my honest to goodness opinion on this one is that if you can sacrifice, say, another, say 5 minutes flight time, say if this one gets a maximum of, with a non-windy day testing for a long range flight, say if you get 23 minutes and this one gets 28, but this one has an insanely nice smooth flying characteristic and tune, I would pick the one that flies better. There might be some tunes out there for these, but yeah, that's all depends on you. And the other thing is that these are now producing 50 megabit on the data stream, so the DVR in the goggles actually looks really good. So I feel like if you wanted to just cut back and save yourself a little bit of money, get the Caddx version, and that one is around $369. You're gonna save yourself around $60 if you do that. So if you're kind of on a budget, again, you can go cheaper and do $249 for the analog version, which I think would also be a good deal. But man, I'm loving that flight controller. This thing is a beast, and it's only one layer there. And the air module is so big. It would be cool if they almost decased that, but they can't because of your warranty issues with this quad. But dual antennas up top too versus that Caddx version with the single antenna. This will get you great penetration. I have run slam behind like some of the biggest evergreen trees in Oregon and Washington out on the coast. I've dipped down into tree tunnels with this same type of VTX. This will penetrate through some of the thickest, roughest canopy out there. And you can still skirt through that tree tunnel and make it out the other end, which is mind-blowing. So I like that they also added crossbars. So that is for the freestyle guys out there that want a little more rigidity, and it also in turn helps the tune on here because it takes some vibration out of the frame. You can take these off, the crossbars, if you want to lighten it up a little bit, but I'd leave them on there. Fly this thing exactly the way it is. Guys, thank you so much for watching my reviews, and stay humble and kind out there, guys. Be nice to each other in the FPV community, and if I can help you out, I definitely will. If you want to ask questions about this one or any other quad on my channel, please do make a comment down below. And as always, guys, please subscribe. I'm Justin Davis. Take care. I'll see you on the next one.